He has starred in 7 of the biggest blockbusters ever made, and now Harrison Ford's career is taking a new turn with his latest project, K-19, The Widowmaker. The film, inspired by a true story, is set during the Cold War. Ford plays Captain Alexei Vostrikov, who's in charge of a nuclear submarine and is forced to make some very tough decisions when faced with nuclear disaster.
I took this boat and these men to the edge because we need to know where it is. These 120 men are a crew now because they achieved something together that they did not think they could do. Next time, when it is not a drill, they will go to the edge and past it and die if necessary, because that is what their duty demands of them.
Harrison Ford, good morning. Welcome back.
Good morning, thanks.
Beginning of the movie, we're told that this is the height of the Cold War, and this is a major incident involving Soviet forces and the United States. Does the audience have to be able to relate to that time? Do they have to be alive and experience the tensions of that time for this to resonate with them?
Well, gosh, I hope not.
Because that's a sizable part of the audience that wasn't alive.
No, I think that there's enough human drama and in the story, and there's a lot of dramatic conflict between the character that Liam Neeson plays and I play that provides a context in which some of these issues are addressed, and I think you become enough aware of the realities of the Cold War in the context of the film to understand what's going on. But I think I mean, I grew up during the Cold War. I lived in Chicago, and the city was ringed with missile silos, and there were anti-aircraft guns in the park. It's in a way, it is difficult to imagine the tension, the height of tension that we felt at that time.
K-19, brand new nuclear submarine in the Soviet fleet. It is the pride of the fleet, and it was going to be used by the Soviets to send a message to the United States. Here we have this reactor problem on board the submarine. Explain to me why that's more of a problem than just for the crew on that submarine. Why could it have become something that impacted the entire world?
Well, as you said, it's the Russians' first nuclear-powered, ballistic missile-armed submarine. And the technology was relatively crude at that time, on the American side and on the Russian side. The Americans had deployed a nuclear submarine to the coast of Russia. This submarine was meant to patrol off the coast of the eastern seaboard of the United States.
Yeah, between Washington and New York.
Yeah, and was able to launch missiles. What happened is that they had this nuclear power plant failure, the cooling system. Radiation began to escape. Men went into the reactor in order to try and solve the problem, knowing that they were in great peril, that they might die. In fact, they did die of radiation poisoning. The captain, which I play, believed that he was going to have a fission event. He thought he was going to have a nuclear explosion.
The reactor gets to 1,000 degrees, ignites.
And then they have an explosion. They've got nuclear warheads on board. He thought that they were in danger of having a nuclear explosion. They were being shadowed by an American destroyer at this point.
Which would have been destroyed by this nuclear explosion.
Would have been destroyed. They were within miles of the NATO base at Jan Mayen. And the tension was such that that Vostrikov believed he might be responsible for starting World War III.
You make a decision when you do a movie like this that is about this Soviet submarine. And I've seen movies that dealt with Russia and Russian military in the past where the actors did not choose to take on a Russian accent. They just spoke English. You decided you'd do a Russian accent for this. Why?
Look, I grew up thinking that Nazis spoke with British accents because all the actors that play them are British actors. I've got Liam Neeson is Irish. We have other British actors. We have Russian actors on board. I wanted the audience to be aware that this was a Russian story and continue to keep them in that fold.
The survivors of the real K-19,
yeah, and
there are many of them. You met with some.
I did.
They had great concerns about the script, and now some of them have been critical about the final product.
They have?
Yeah, they said that maybe there's a little too much of the drinking, even though some was cut.
No,
a lot was cut. Out of the original screenplay, I know a lot of the drinking scenes were taken out.
I'm unaware of the survivors.
We had a story on yesterday.
Having seen it, yeah. I didn't know that they'd seen it.
So do you think that this is accurate? Should they be proud of this product?
I think they should be pleased that men or people who were their avowed enemies at a certain point are now celebrating their courage and their selfless behavior. I think we'd made a film which dignifies the effort that they made, and I think their initial concern was that they didn't know why Americans wanted to make a film about Russians. They thought that we were possibly out to satirize them or make fun of them. Never was the case.
By the way, happy birthday. Just turned 60 on the 13th of July.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
And always good to have you here.
Thank you.
K-19 opens in theaters on Friday, and we're back with more right after these messages.
Really?